Am I the a-hole for going no contact with my dad and siblings after a big fight where I accused them of replacing mom because they want to be taken care of? My 28F mom passed away 3 years ago after a long battle with cancer. It was brutal. She fought for 4 years, and through every round of chemo, every surgery, every experimental treatment, she stayed strong for all of us. She was the emotional anchor of our family. When she died, it felt like our entire home lost its center of gravity. I have two younger siblings, my sister, 24F, and brother, 20M. And then there's my dad, 59M. After mom passed, we all grieved differently. I buried myself in therapy, work, journaling, trying to make sense of my life without her. My siblings, not so much. They kind of leaned into dad, which I understood at first. We were all reeling. But about a year after mom died, dad started dating. At first, he hid it. I found out through my brother, who let it slip that dad was going to dinner with someone who's not a coworker. When I confronted him, he said something like, "Life has to go on. Your mother wouldn't want me to be alone forever." That crushed me. She hadn't even been gone 14 months. Fast forward to now, he's engaged. To a woman we barely know, let's call her Karen. They've been together about 18 months, and I've only met her 3 times. She's fine, I guess. Polite. Sweet in that overly agreeable way that feels kind of fake. But my siblings? They're obsessed with her. My sister calls her bonus mom. My brother jokes that she cooks better than our actual mom, which is so messed up, I don't even have the energy to unpack it. They've started talking about how happy dad is now, how the house feels warm again, and how maybe this was meant to be. Last weekend was the boiling point. We were at a family dinner, dad, his fiancée, my siblings, and me. Karen made some comment about how she can't wait to have grandkids and be the kind of grandma who's always baking cookies. I felt something crack in my chest. I stayed quiet. Later that night, my sister pulled me aside and asked why I've been so distant and cold lately. That's when it all came out. I told her I think it's insane that they've all moved on like this. That they act like mom was just some placeholder until Karen showed up. That they're not thinking with their hearts, they're thinking about who's going to cook for them, clean for them, mother them, because they can't handle the emotional gap. I said they're replacing mom because they want to be taken care of, not because they genuinely want a relationship with this woman. It blew up. My sister started crying. My brother called me cruel. My dad told me I was projecting my grief issues onto everyone else. I left and haven't responded to a single call or message since. It's been almost a month. Part of me feels like I needed to say it. Like no one else was willing to call it out. But another part of me wonders if I just burned down what was left of my family over a wound I never healed from. So yeah, am I the a-hole for going no contact after accusing my family of replacing mom because they want to be taken care of? It's been almost 6 weeks since that dinner, and since I basically blew up my relationship with the rest of my family. I didn't plan to go full no contact. At first, I just needed space. I thought maybe a few days would cool things down. But then the texts started pouring in, long ones from my sister, short passive-aggressive ones from my brother, and voicemails from my dad that I still haven't listened to. One of the first messages from my sister said, "You really hurt us. But I guess it's always about your pain." That was the moment I knew they didn't get it. Or maybe didn't want to. No one said, "We miss mom too." No one said, "You're right, this all happened fast." No one said, "We're still grieving." Just, "Why are you ruining things? Why are you making it about you?" So yeah, I stopped responding. I've been spending time with mom's sister, my aunt, and she's the only one who actually acknowledged what I'm feeling. She told me something that stuck. Some people grieve by replacing what they lost. Others grieve by holding on. Neither is wrong, but when you're not in sync, it's like trying to dance to different songs in the same room. And I realized, maybe that's what this is. We're not even in the same room anymore. But here's the kicker, last week I found out, through my aunt, that my dad moved Karen into our childhood home. The one mom picked out. The one where every single photo, every paint color, every knick-knack had her fingerprint on it. Apparently, Karen's already redecorating. My sister posted a picture on her Instagram story, the fireplace mom loved. It's now painted this pale gray with one of those live, laugh, love signs above it. I wanted to throw my phone across the room. I know it's just stuff. Walls. Paint. But it's also her. It was our family home. Now it feels like a museum exhibit that's being remodeled to make room for a new one. And my siblings are just fine with it. There's this part of me that wants to march in and say, "You don't get to erase her." But the louder part of me is just tired. Tired of being the only one who's still saying her name like it matters. Tired of feeling like keeping her memory alive makes me the villain. I miss my mom. I miss her in this big, aching, endless way that no one else seems to anymore. I've been going to therapy again, trying to unpack all this, and my therapist asked, "What would your mom say if she were here?" And honestly, I think she'd tell me to forgive them. That they're broken in a different way. But I don't know how to do that when they won't even admit the break is there. So yeah, still no contact. And the silence is starting to feel less like punishment and more like peace. I'm not sure if I'll ever go back. So, after nearly 2 months of silence, something finally happened. I got a letter in the mail. Not a text. Not an email. An actual handwritten letter from my dad. I almost didn't open it. For days, it sat on my kitchen counter like it was radioactive. The handwriting on the envelope was unmistakably his neat, all caps, like he was afraid of being misunderstood. Which is ironic, given our last conversation. I finally read it last night. It wasn't long. Just 1 page. He wrote that he knows I'm hurting. That he didn't fully understand how deep my grief went, that maybe he still doesn't. He admitted he moved fast with Karen. That in hindsight, maybe it looked like he was replacing Mom. But he said, it wasn't about forgetting her. It was about surviving the silence she left behind. That line hit me. Because the silence has been unbearable. For all of us, I think. But then he wrote something that made me pause. I never wanted to replace your mother. But I do want a future. I want something to look forward to before my life runs out too. And I'm sorry if I made you feel like she was being erased. She's in everything I do. Still. Then he asked if I would come to a family dinner next week. Just dinner. No expectations, no big conversations unless I want them. Just a seat at the table. And here's where I'll be brutally honest. I don't know if I can go. I've spent so long feeling like I'm standing still while the rest of them moved on. And part of me is scared that going back means pretending everything's okay, that we just slap a bandage over this gaping wound and smile through the bleeding. But the other part of me, the quieter one, wonders if this is the moment I stop being angry for my grief and start letting it exist beside everything else. Even if I don't like what everything else looks like now. I called my therapist right after reading the letter. We talked about how forgiveness isn't forgetting. It's just not letting the pain be in charge anymore. I haven't RSVP'd to dinner yet, but I haven't thrown the letter away either. So I guess this isn't a neat update. There's no clean resolution. Just a chair at a table and a question hanging in the air. Do I sit down or do I stay gone? I wasn't planning to go. I had the letter on my nightstand, folded and worn at the corners from how many times I reread it. The invitation was clear, but my feelings weren't. I thought about writing a response. I thought about texting instead. I almost convinced myself to just keep the silence going. It was easier in a way. But then the night of the dinner came, and something in me shifted. Not dramatically. Not like a movie moment. Just a quiet tug. Like the part of me that still missed them, not just my mom, but them was willing to risk a little discomfort for the chance at something better. So I went. I stood on the front porch of my childhood home, which looks different now, by the way. New landscaping. New curtains. There's a wreath on the door that says Home Sweet Home, and I swear it physically hurt to see it. Karen answered. She looked surprised, but not unpleasantly so. She said, I'm really glad you came, and stepped aside. Inside, things were tense. Quiet. My siblings were there. My sister gave me a long hug. My brother didn't, but he nodded. That's more than I expected. My dad looked older than I remembered. I don't know if it's the months apart or the weight of everything we haven't said, but it struck me hard. He smiled, but it didn't reach all the way. It wasn't one of those smiles, the ones he used to give Mom across the room. Dinner was awkward at first. Small talk. Some nervous laughter. Karen tried too hard, but I don't even blame her. I can't imagine what it feels like trying to build something in a space where someone else's love still echoes in every corner. And then, toward the end, my sister broke the ice. She said, I know things haven't felt right. I don't think any of us handled it perfectly. She was crying before she finished the sentence. I told her I didn't expect perfection. I just wanted acknowledgement that Mom mattered. Still matters. That we don't have to rewrite her out of the story just because the next chapter looks different. There were a lot of tears. Some apologies. Some things we still don't see eye to eye on. But we agreed on this. We all lost her. And none of us really knew how to lose her together. Karen didn't say much, but at one point she told me, I'll never try to take your mother's place. I just hope I can make space for myself without stepping on hers. And weirdly, I believed her. So now, I don't know. We're not magically healed. I'm still raw. There are moments I want to pull back into the silence again. But something broke open at that table, and not in a bad way. It's not about replacing Mom. It never was. It's about all of us trying to carry her absence in ways that don't crush us. Sometimes we clash. Sometimes we drift. But I think, finally, we're starting to carry it together. For now, that's enough. If this story kept you hooked, give it a like, share your thoughts below, and subscribe for more.